So I was able to watch the first four episodes of the last season of The Crown, and in those episodes, they specifically focus on Princess Diana and her relationship that she had with Dodi Al Fayed. And so we see the brief relationship take place from Saint Tropez all the way to the fatal accident that happened in August 31st of 97. So it was a little over a month period. And there was a lot that took place within that short 5 to 6 week period. We noticed that they have that vacation together, and then they have several different vacations together when I show you the timeline. And then also there was a ring that was apparently ordered, and then Dodi El Fayed picked up this ring on August 30th, 97, when the day before that fatal accident. So I was very curious because this seemed like a very fast paced romance. What kind of planetary period was influencing this whole situation? So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today using astrology. For those of you that are new to my channel, make sure you like and subscribe. This is Vedic sidereal astrology. It's different from Western tropical astrology. You'll see it when I pull up the chart. For example, the South Indian chart has squares. It's not the round chart that you usually see in Western astrology. And also your sign might be different using the Vedic sidereal zodiac. My goal is 10,000 subscribers. That's why I need you all to subscribe. Also, if you're interested in a reading, I am doing a holiday discount. Check for details down below. So let's go ahead and let's go talk about the timeline of events that happened. And by the way, before we start this reading, everything I say about Princess Diana and Dodi Al Fayed, these are all allegedlys and speculation based on, media reports, but also based on astrological energies. Okay. So let's go look at the timeline of events that I was able to put together. Now, apparently, the two allegedly met. Dodi El Fayed and Princess Diana met at the polo match in 1986, and I believe that was when Dodi El Fayed's father was going to it. And apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently he was there, and they had a brief meeting. I don't think that's related to the romance at all. 92 is when the separation occurred with Princess Diana and formerly Prince Charles. Now he's King Charles. The separation occurred, and then August 96, they were formally divorced. And then we're going to flash forward to July 97 when the Saint Tropez trip happened. And that's when the romance really takes off. It just sparks up. And what was interesting was Dodi El Fayed was already in this relationship with this other woman. And so it's interesting that this relationship ended up sparking with this whole yacht trip that happened. So what we're going to be looking at is from July 97 to August 31st, 97. You see it's only a few weeks there. It's only about 5 or 6 weeks. It's a very fast-paced relationship. So the energies had to be quite strong if allegedly there was a ring bought during this time. So if we look at some of the events, 97, they have that first, or July is when they have that first trip. August 10th, there was another trip in the south of France. And this is when the kiss photo was taken. And they showed that in The Crown. August 21st to 24th, there was a return to Saint Tropez with Dodi. They visited Monaco, and that was the trip where they went to the boutique and they saw the ring. Okay. And apparently Dodi had ordered that ring. And then on August 30th, they went back to Paris where he picks up the ring. And then August 31st was the fatal accident that happened. So there was a very fast sequence of events. So I was very, very interested in looking at that. So the thing we want to look at in Vedic astrology is we want to look at what's called the Vimshatari Dasha, which is planetary timeline. That's what I like to call it so people can understand. Basically, the planetary timeline that Princess Diana was on during this period was September 11th, 95 to February 4th, 98. She was in the Jupiter Rahu period. So we're going to talk about basically those two planets were influencing her perceptions, what was manifesting in her life in a very specific way. Now, the Jupiter energy was the general energy. So that was more of the background energy. And then the Rahu energy is the very powerful, acute energy. And we're going to break that down right now. So let me show you the chart So those of you that are new to this can actually see what a Vedic astrology chart looks like. So this is Princess Diana's chart. And so if you take a look, she's Scorpio ascendant. Okay, moon is in the sign of Aquarius. But with the Vimshatari Dasha, we look at this. This is basically a calculation. Basically, when someone is born, their moon is in a certain nakshatra, and basically that's how you calculate through their life the sequence of timelines they're going to be on. So Jupiter Rahu from 95 to 98, we want to look at Jupiter, and then we also want to look at Rahu within this reading here. So let's take a look. Now, what I want you to know with Jupiter is Jupiter's in the third house. It rules the fourth house and it rules the second house. It's actually a really good planet for Scorpio ascendant. But the thing I want to point out is Jupiter rules the fifth house of dating and courtship. So it's actually very supportive of this idea of getting to know people. I think I read that right before Princess Diana was dating Dodi Al Fayed, I believe there was a doctor or somebody that she was dating. You guys can comment down below. Right before then or recently. So she was in a period of dating and courtship. Second house is being activated. And then also, if we look over here to the moon chart, because we got to look at the placements from the moon also. 11th from moon is a sociable time as well. So this was very sociable time for Princess Diana. You know, even though she was getting a lot of the media attention that maybe she didn't like so much, but you know, it's what it is when you're famous and you have especially a royal family. They get unbelievable amount of attention. Also, we got to take a look at Rahu. Now, remember, Rahu is the acute energy. That's the energy we really want to analyze with this. So Jupiter's kind of the background, then Rahu is the energy that we really want to look at. So Rahu is one of those planets. Okay, it's known as karmic destiny, but also it's one of those planets where you can fall madly in love with somebody, and to the point where people around you are going to maybe even question your motives. Okay, so there might be a lot of pushback because typically during Rahu periods, it's when people, you know, they fall head over heels for somebody. So there's no doubt in my mind that the feelings that Princess Diana had during this time were very genuine. This was like a very fast paced type of relationship. And Rahu's one of those planets, believe it or not, where someone can get married like in a weekend. Like, for example, in the United States, drive to Vegas and get married on a weekend on a whim. So people can typically even be eloped during Rahu periods because the energy is so mesmerizing. It's so on a mental, emotional, physical level, everything is activated. Rahu's also in the seventh house from moon over here. And seventh house has to do with marriage and relationships. It's with Mars. So there might even have been, I don't know if the series, The Crown, showed this, but there might even have been a very strong pursuit energy from Princess Diana's side. Okay, so maybe she was even kind of, it might have not been all from Dodi. You know, there was definitely this idea of with Mars and Rahu being together, that there's this strong energy to move this forward. That's something to be aware of in all of this. So let me pull up the slideshow for a second because I really want you all to learn astrology as well. So let's talk about Rahu and romance. So the Rahu period was going to end in 98. So she was still in that period for about another 7 or 8 months. So Rahu is one of the most powerful romance planets there is. It is the most powerful in my opinion. Venus is known as a romance planet, but Rahu is the one that can make people madly in love. Okay, so it activates powerful karmic attractions where a lot of times we don't even feel like we're in control of ourselves. So it can be so impulsive, it can be so powerful, the relationships. Oftentimes, people will receive criticism from society during Rahu relationships. And typically, there may be something taboo about the relationship, okay, which society in general may find taboo, okay. And so that's why there's this social criticism. So remember, Dodi Al Fayed's family was trying to get, well, at least the Crown was showing they were trying to get closer to the royal family. Well, that was seen as, Dodi Al Fayed's family was seen as like this new money, that it wasn't part of these old historic traditions of wealth and so forth. So there was this idea of trying to blend those two energies, which could have been seen as very taboo. Now, I don't think Princess Diana was thinking about that, especially being on a Rahu period, but the people outside of it may have been thinking about that. So Rahu supports whirlwind romances and impulsive marriages. Also, the taboo thing I wanted to bring up too is the taboo can also be relationships where there's different religions involved. So that's also, so there was a lot of, and especially in the 90s, maybe not so much now, but 90s, things were still not as open-minded as things are now. So even back then, things were a little more harsh. So getting eloped is a common theme during Rahu. Rahu wants what Rahu wants now. So this idea of getting this ring is totally supported by the Rahu transit. And I also want to pull this up in the chart as well. So not only was Rahu involved in this, so I do feel like Princess Diana was very much in love. Transiting Rahu at the time of this event, so in July and August of 97, transiting Rahu was in the sign of Leo. So those of you that are new Vedic astrology, transiting Rahu and Ketu will stay in signs for 18 months. Then they go backwards into the next sign and they stay there for 18 months. So they're moving backwards through the zodiac. So during this time, whenever you have a Rahu return where transiting Rahu meets up with your natal Rahu, this is the time of, this is like a double whammy when we're talking about the karmic connection here. This was likely, and this is even, what I believe in the chart. This shows even past life connection there. Very strong past life connection with Princess Diana and Dodi. Okay, so the past life karma that was being activated through all this was so powerful that, it's sad to look at it now because it was such a, they fell in love and it was this romance story, and then it ended so tragically so quick. But there definitely was this idea of karmic destiny with this, especially with the nodes being involved. So that's what I got for this. The question was, what did this happen? Did this engagement ring, was this bought like the jeweler said or the boutique owner said? Did this all happen? Likely so. And likely, I feel like they would have been married very quickly with this type of transit and this type of bhukti that was going on. Let me know what you all think down below. I was curious about doing this video, and the reason why I brought up this video is because I wanted to kind of see if what the crown was portraying was going to be correlated in the astrology chart. So I feel like it was pretty correlated within the chart that there would be this very fast-paced type of romance taking place. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think and take care until the next video.